Even Transformers is not immune to the cracks of lost media in its decades-long history. From the lost storyboard to the G1 movie to the formerly hidden Transformers animated shorts, this is a subtopic that is rarely talked about outside of the TFA lost media. When it comes to this section, we are fortunate enough to find some of the missing storyboards, the missing TFA shorts, and other media such as the entire test pilot of Animated for Hasbro to greenlight the show. However, when it comes to one specific instance of Transformers lost media, it's an entire show that remains missing. Ladies and gentlemen and non-binary pals, this is the story of an alternative version of Transformers Cyberverse. To understand the cultural context of this version of Cyberverse, let's briefly go over who Nessa is. If you like to do your own research on Nessa and the other Chinese deities featured in Nessa Transformers, I highly recommend checking out some of the sources in the description after this video. Also, quick disclaimer here. Please forgive me for the pronunciations of these names. You're welcome to roast me in the comments if my pronunciations are awful. In Chinese mythology, Nessa is a protection deity, a patron saint of young adults, who is a prominent figure in stories such as Journey to the West and Investiture of the Gods. He is often depicted as a young child in traditional art and media, being strongly associated with Windfire wheels. Because of his association with these said wheels, he is also regarded as the god of professional drivers, and a way to ensure a safe journey on the road is putting a small statue of Nessa inside her vehicle. It makes his appearance in this alternate version of Cyberverse much more fitting. He isn't the only figure from Chinese mythology and folklore. Had the show aired as intended, there are also other deities that would have helped Nessa and the Cyberverse characters. There is Xia Lengnu, a dragon with the ability to turn into a human and a transformer. She is a literary character from the wuxia novel, The Return of the Condor Heroes by Jin Young, being one of the main protagonists of the novel, in fact. Then there is Lei Shenzi, the god of thunder, and Tu Jinsun, who both originated from Investiture of the Gods, the friends of Nessa in the show. Finally, there's Xia Zhuzhong, who was actually an original character from a television show focusing on Nessa in 2003, The Legend of Nessa. We'll go back to this important detail in a little bit. In regards to the main antagonist of this version of Cyberverse, the villain Shiji was a goddess who was originally a demoness in Chinese mythology, and is a major antagonist in Investiture of the Gods. In the mythos, much of her aggression against Nessa stemmed from him accidentally annoying her and the Dragon King, Ao Guang, too many times. Damn. And I thought people yelling at kids to get off the front lawn with a swear word was too extreme. Nessa Transformers is a collaborative effort between Allspark Animation and China Central Television, the same company behind the 2003 Nessa cartoon. I told y'all we'll go back to this important detail. With an episode count of 52 and each running for 11 minutes, it actually would have been a stealth sequel to the 2003 series. In fact, the main Chinese characters would have had the same designs and characterizations from the show, with the designs just tweaked to fit Cyberverse's art style. The plot would have followed Nessa allying with the Autobots to defend Earth from Shiji and the Decepticons. I'm curious about how this iteration would have fit into the main Cyberverse timeline, since this would have most likely taken place between the end of Season 1 and Season 2 before the Cybertronians permanently leave Earth. Since we have no knowledge of the show's plot outside of the premise, it'd be funnier to imagine Nessa and his friends being confused that the bots are gone, same for Shiji and the Decepticons, and some other god left them a note that said, "Yo, your new friends dipped." I don't know why, my brain just works like that because that would have been a huge plot hole had this aired. With everything we know about the content of Nessa Transformers, I would finally ask the one question that is the reason why you clicked on this video. What happened to it? Hello everybody, this is Editor Val, and I forgot to mention one important detail regarding the 2003 Nessa cartoon. While they show the Nessa Transformers is currently missing, Fortunately, the 2003 Nessa cartoon can be viewed in the description. Please support the official release of this series. Alright, let's go back to the video. The show was announced back in 2017, back when Transformers Cyberverse was also announced. Originally meant for a 2020 release, it would have premiered with 52 episodes that span a total of 11 minutes, which is a minute longer than Cyberverse's original 10-minute runtime. To promote hype for the series, a Nessa Power-Up Pack was released on December 12, 2019, alongside a trailer and a stop-motion short promoting the toy line that is currently available to watch on YouTube. According to TFWiki, the Power-Up figure would have been similar to the Ultra Class toys from the main Cyberverse toy line. Additionally, there are action figures in the line similar to the LEGO Ben 10 action figures. I want this Optimus figure. I want it. I need it. It's essential to my every fiber of my existence. I will pull a PVV if I have to. It seems like everything was going right in the world. Transformers Cyberverse was going strong, winning fans on the television screens. There was a considerable amount of hype and excitement for the Nessa Transformers series, as we worry about how to access it and all that fun piracy jazz. Little did we know about what would be awaiting us in 2020. Miss Rona. Unfortunately, Miss YouTube hates it when you refer to Miss Rona by her full name, so to spare myself the trouble, I will be referring to her as the pandemic. To say that the pandemic caused a huge disruption in the animation industry is one of the biggest understatements of the century. Not only did it result in the shutdown of major studios, forcing many to complete work at home, but it also resulted in the delay of several productions. Unfortunately, the Nessa Transformers cartoon is one of those delayed productions. While former Hasbro CEO Brian Goldner has stated that the other broadcast stations intended to pick up the show for international distribution alongside its intended release in China, to this day there is currently no official announcement of a release date. It's notoriously difficult to get information on this series online, especially the circumstances of its delay. One possible reason for its delay is located on a Chinese website called Baidu.com from supposedly an animator that worked on the series. I would like to give a special shout out to user Lesbianautica on providing a translation for this webpage to the best of her abilities. If anyone knows Chinese, feel free to write a translation in the comment section below. Here is as follows, with my own grammar corrections to provide a coherent translation. Now, it is estimated to be aborted, mainly because the project is delayed again and again. The money is getting less and less, and the project level is not cheap. It is troublesome to do it. Now, it belongs to the kind of less money, and I'm tired of working the high requirements. Few companies are willing to take over the project. The embarrassing situation is that companies look down on smaller companies and they can't do it. In addition to the pandemic sabotaging the release date, it also seems to be suffering from production hell. While I highly suggest taking this post with a pinch of salt, since there is no way of verifying the identity of this individual, this provides a possible reason as to why the entire show went missing. Additionally, as of the time I am writing this, a major development was the release of concept art that can be viewed in the description. TFWiki puts it best when describing this bizarre case overall. Just what the hell happened to this series is an open question, and the best answer is probably a ton of different things. The pandemic doubtlessly played a role, but the franchise started production 2 years prior, so that can't be all of it. Strained relations between the US government and Chinese government during production is another possible stumbling block, especially given CCTV is a government-run entity. And of course, there's likely a lot of backroom deal production shenanigans that we'll never be privy to. Toy-wise, that so little product exists while so much of the rest of Transformers continue to chug along does bring into question the original scope of the line to begin with. Though it is possible that the show's production delays mean we've only seen the stuff that was ready to go or cheap enough to produce at the time, with more planned product intended to follow along with the show when it aired. But again, it's likely we'll never actually know the whole story, or even most of the story. This is perhaps one of the most bizarre cases of Transformers lost media, since unlike a few shorts, a picture of a go-kart, or even an entire video game, it's an entire television series that is most likely hidden in Jon Hasbro's vaults. After reviewing everything about the Nessa show so far, there's only one question: what can we do? Since Transformers Cyberverse would eventually end in late 2021, it's very highly unlikely that this show would ever premiere. Hell, it would have been even a miracle to see the show air once everything is settled behind the scenes. This is where we, the audience, comes in. What can we do about this case? While I would love to suggest an Ocean 11 type heist to find the hard drives containing the episodes, I would also like to graduate college without a criminal record. Plus, the Jon Hasbro Cypers are no joke, guys. Please don't break into the office, please. I wouldn't want you guys to get arrested. Here's where I have a simple request for anyone, whether it be from the production team, or a random audience viewer, or even an executive watching this video. If you have any information about the Nessa series, to the best of your abilities, feel free to show a DM to me on my Twitter or any other social media in the card link in the description. I will probably make a follow-up video to this one with any major information about the show to the best of your abilities. Being a passionate fan of Transformers Cyberverse, I developed an intense fascination with this lost media case ever since I started to wonder about its whereabouts while watching the show. While I recognize that I am a smaller channel who doesn't have the enormous influence of my peers, I do have the power to ask you lovely viewers at home to like and share this video in hopes of having this case solved. Anyways, that is all I have for today. Thank you all for listening to me ramble about an alternative version of the show that basically became my personality at this point. If you would like to hear my full thoughts about Cyberverse itself, I have linked below the video in the description. If you'd like to see more videos like this, please consider subscribing and clicking on all channel notifications. Once again, thank you all so much for watching. Goodbye!